there's one vertical blanket. There's one vertical blanket, one threefold, slightly thicker horizontal blanket, and then a blanket for the head. So the blanket on the floor, put it at the end of your mat. Maybe the fringe side toward the end of your mat. And then take another blanket and make it a little bit thicker. So I'm using a threefold Indian blanket with the Mexican ones. I think maybe, okay, yeah, I think that'll be good. Maybe, yeah, that'll be good. And then a blanket for your head. Okay. So the purpose of this particular setup, I'm sitting in front of the blankets. My sacrum is touching the blanket, and then I lie back. I adjust myself such that the buttocks are on the floor and the blanket's under my shoulder blades and upper and middle ribs. The arms will go out to the side. Head a little bit higher, so forehead higher than the chin. Arms out to the sides. Now I can tell that the blanket is kind of bunching under my buttocks, so I'm going to adjust the horizontal blanket just an inch or so lower. And try again, that's better. And then stretch the legs out one at a time. So make sure the proportions fit your body, fit your trunk. A little bit more, maybe, yeah, pull the horizontal blanket down. So not under it's definitely under the rib cage, not the lumbar, but it's like the middle and upper ribs. That's good. And blanket under the head. Then extend your legs one at a time and allow the legs to release to the floor. So the time change has been good for pranayama in terms of sun coming up a little bit earlier, and the best time, according to our teachers, for pranayama is when the prana of the earth, the life force of the earth, is rising at the same time as our individual bodies. So coordinating, kind of synchronizing the pranic rise within our bodies, our individual bodies, as we're getting up, as we're waking from sleep and moving into the daylight hours, and our energy level is rising. That's the best time to do pranayama, according to our teachers. We are part of the earth. We are part of the rotation, revolution of the planet around the sun. And so when we can be in synchrony, then in terms of our energy levels, in terms of our activities and our energy levels, then we're supported. We're supported by the prana of the earth. So now the purpose of this particular setup is to feel that spreading of the rib cage, the horizontal, particularly the horizontal spreading of the rib cage. So that little bit of extra lift under the shoulder blades, upper ribs. Hopefully it gives you a little more access to the expansion of the rib cage, and particularly the expansion of the side ribs. And it just kind of happens naturally with this particular setup. So we can understand how the specific setups create certain contexts, how we customize our setups to produce certain effects. So it's not at all random. It's very deliberate, very intentional, very coordinated. So this particular setup, which we don't usually do, is to bring attention, more focus to the spreading, the horizontal spreading, and in particular the side ribs. So as the breath settles, then bring your attention to the side ribs, the expansion of the side ribs. Let the breath come into a soft, steady rhythm. Nothing special with the breath just yet. Even in your resting breath, the resting abdominal breath, there's a little extra expansion of the side ribs due to this particular setup, this blanket arrangement. So as you invite the breath to become slower and softer, feel the rib cage expanding and responding to the breath. So it's like the rib cage wants to get involved and wants to participate in this activity and wants to enhance this activity. So allow it, encourage it. So the rib cage is literally expanding several inches out to the sides, an inch or two on each side as you inhale. Now, with your exhales, kind of scoop out the exhales on the abdominal level and see if you can maintain the wideness of the rib cage even as you exhale. So it definitely expands as you inhale. And then scoop out the abdomen on the exhale such that the rib cage stays expanded, even on the exhale. And at the very end of the exhale, allow the rib cage to return to its original shape, size, and position. So expanding outward and sideways to each side on the inhales. And as you exhale, scooping out the abdomen, emptying out the breath with the help of the abdomen, and then at the very end of the exhale, soften the rib cage. So the rib cage stays expanded, horizontal, spreading until the very end of the exhale. Continue in this manner for another couple of minutes. Now we're gonna do 3 more cycles. Then return to, after your 3 cycles, return to normal breathing. So after you've returned to normal breathing, just listen for a moment. So we'll do a cycle, we'll do several cycles of Viloma, Bahya Viloma. So what it will entail is a long, slow, soft inhale, expanding out sideways into the rib cage, and then a graduated exhale. So it's scooping out that abdomen, and you feel the kind of the layers, the lateral layers of the ribcage expansion as you exhale. So a 3-stage exhale, and the very last exhale, you will return the ribcage to its original size, shape, and position. But it's kind of feeling those three tiers, lateral tiers of the rib cage. So I'll talk you through the first cycle, and then you'll be on your own. Exhale completely. Take a slow, soft inhale, creating that spread of the back ribs, the horizontal spread of the entire rib cage. Maximum expansion. And then exhaling, scooping out the abdomen, pause. Exhaling, a little further, pause. Exhaling, now let the ribcage return to its original shape, size, and position. And take a resting breath. Take a recovery breath. Exhale completely. Extend the pause. Slow, soft inhale. Filling the ribcage. Filling the ribcage all the way out to the sides, and especially just under the armpits. That armpit band. Expand there. And then exhaling 1/3 of the way. Pause, scooping out the abdomen. Exhale again. Scoop out a little further. Pause. And then exhale completely, this time allowing the ribcage to completely empty and return to its original shape, size, and position. Take a recovery breath. And do 3 more cycles on your own. 3 more cycles of Bahya Viloma. Especially bring special attention to that, I'm calling it the armpit band. So just at the bottom of the armpit. Gita Iyengar says we store our prana. We have like tanks for our prana in that armpit chest region. So see if you can direct the breath into that armpit chest region and then keep it open even as you exhale until the very end of the exhales. So 3-stage exhale. Yeah, it's a little extra effort with the cat. But I guess really the cat it's kind of like having a sandbag and very much exercising the respiratory muscles. So I suppose the cat can be a useful prop as long as it's not too heavy. But feel those intercostal muscles spreading, expanding as on the inhales, and then gradual exhale. And the abdomen is responsible for a lot of that exhaling control. But at the very end of the exhale, allow everything to return to its original shape, size, and position. This cat loves pranayama. Okay. Once you finish your 3 cycles, return to normal breathing. When you're ready, roll to your side and gradually sit up. All right, so I've stacked the blankets like this. And we'll sit in swastikasana on the narrow end, which is different from the horizontal end. It's a different effect. So just right on the edge here. And then the other blanket can go under the knees. It's a little bit lower than the bolster, so I don't have to use quite as much support under the knees, so observe that. Still a feeling of slight pressure of the knees downward into the blanket without tilting the pelvis forward. The pelvis stays upright, sacrum perpendicular to the floor. Let's see, I think it's too much height under your knees, Alice. Remove that blanket a little bit so that the knees can still descend. All right, from here, first bring your fingertips to the floor and sit up very tall. And from here, create that alertness of the spine as you bring your head down into Jalandhara Bandha. This head down position, this Jalandhara Bandha position, you know, the ancient yogis were so far ahead of their time. And what they noticed was that the nervous system changes completely. The mind state changes completely when we bring our head down like this. So this Jalandhara Bandha takes us from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's a cooling and calming effect. So with your fingertips pressing, keeping the alertness in the arms, bring the head down a little further. Soften the throat. And lift the chest to meet the chin. Okay. From here, bring your palms onto your thighs, palms down. Closer to your hips, to the top of the thighs, yeah. So the elbows are back. Descend the elbows. Notice the plane of the upper arm and descend the upper arm down to the elbow and match up the plane of the upper arm with the plane of the sacrum. Bring them in line with each other. So there's a feeling, a strong feeling of that back body engagement and the back body alignment. From here, we'll take some Viloma cycles, just like before. So take a slow, soft inhale, slow, soft exhale to prepare. And one more preparatory breath, slow, soft inhale, and slow, soft exhale. Of course, you have your glasses off. I only have mine on so that I can watch you. And now, slow, soft inhale. Feel the sideways expansion of the rib cage. Feel the armpit chest region, that armpit band spreading and filling. You should feel your shirt stretching. And then exhaling in 3 stages. Abdomen scooping out, ribcage staying broad. Pause. Exhale. Pause. And then exhale. Complete the exhale. Ribcage still stays lifted, but the breath is all gone. And then take a recovery breath. It's easier when you're upright to maintain the height of the spine, even as you exhale. When you're on your back, it's more passive. But this is quite active, so there's still a height that you maintain even though the rib cage is going back to its original shape and size. So it's kind of like the position stays the same, even though the rib cage shrinks a little bit at the end of the exhale. Okay, let's repeat. Exhale completely. Slow, soft inhale, filling up, expanding sideways. Armpit, chest, tanks full of prana. And then exhale and pause. Exhale and pause. Exhale completely. But in this last exhale, still feel the vertical rise of the spine, even as the rib cage is coming back to its original shape and size. And take a recovery breath. Exhale completely. And do 4 more cycles. 4 more cycles of Viloma, Bahya Viloma, then Sarangasana. Bahya Viloma, seated. I was just pulling the lint off the floor and thinking of Sarangasana. Sorry about that. Shoulders down and back. Use the action of the upper arms to roll the upper arm bone out and pull the shoulder blades in. That will help to support the expansion of the rib cage. And that will help to access the tanks, the pranic tanks in the armpit chest region. It really does feel like you're stretching your shirt. Like you're filling the barrel. Keep the head down. See that the back of the head is coming down and the throat soft, jaw soft, chest rising to meet the chin. After you finish your 4 cycles of Bahya Viloma, keeping your eyes closed, bring your head up. All right, let's do a few cycles of Ujjayi. You can change the cross of the legs. Change the cross of the legs. Give yourself a little padding, but not too much. Readjust your seat. See that you're sitting right on the edge. Cup your fingers on the floor. Get very, very tall. And then bring your head down. And then bring your palms onto your thighs. Once again, check out the plane of the sacrum and the plane of the upper arms. See that they're in line with each other. They're both perpendicular to the floor. So it's kind of a feeling, by bringing your attention to the plane of the upper arms and the plane of the sacrum, it's kind of a feeling of like the wall, an imaginary wall behind you. And that imaginary wall is there so that you can really release your head down without dropping the spine, without dropping the prana. Slow, soft inhale, sweeping the path clear. Slow, soft exhale. Extend the pause here. And now take a very long, slow, soft Ujjayi inhale. Recreate the horizontal expansion of the rib cage without dropping the spine, without dropping the rib cage. Feel the armpit, chest, the tanks at the armpit band filling up. Come to your maximum. And then slow, long, soft exhale. Releasing it, releasing the breath slowly. Let it seep out. Take a recovery breath if you need to, and then 2 more. When you begin the next cycle, extend the exhale, empty out completely, and then start the next cycle. Slow, long, soft inhales. Feel every stage of the inhale. Feel the ribcage expanding sideways. Feel the chest coming up to meet the chin. And the tanks of prana at the armpit band filling up. It's going to give you energy for the whole day. Energy to all the organs of the body. Prana to all the organs of the body, and slow, soft exhale. Slow, long, soft exhale. Control the exhale. Seep it out. No rush to exhale. And once you've finished your 3 cycles, then bring your head up with your eyes closed and just sit quietly. Okay, remove the blankets, lie down and rest. So yeah, it's nice that the sun is rising and we can move on with our day with a full tank, so to speak, with a full tank of prana. So rest completely. We've reached the end of our time, but you can stay in Shavasana. Stay in Shavasana for a good 5 minutes or so before you move on with your day. Okay. Have a wonderful day.